Woo, have you ever wondered how much money you really need to retire? Let's say you've saved $500,000, $1 million, or maybe even $2 million. How much could you safely withdraw each year without running out of money too soon? There's actually a simple answer called the 4% rule. It's an easy formula that many retirees use to plan how much they can spend each year. And in this video, I'll explain exactly what it means, show you real examples, and walk you through how to use it step by step. Slowly, clearly, and practically. Hi, I'm Mark Davis. If you're between 50 and 65 and you like simple, down-to-earth financial tips, this video is for you. Now, just a quick note. This is not personal financial advice. I simply want to give you a clear explanation so you can make smart choices and feel confident when you talk to your financial advisor. So, what exactly is the 4% rule? It's one of the simplest and most popular ideas in retirement planning. And it helps answer a question that almost every retiree asks. How much can I safely take out of my savings each year without running out of money? The 4% rule is not a magic formula, but it gives you a solid place to start. Here's how it works, step by step. In your first year of retirement, you can withdraw 4% of your total savings. That's your spending amount for the year. Then each year after that, you increase your withdrawal slightly to keep up with inflation so that your buying power stays about the same as prices rise over time. For example, let's say inflation is 2%. If you withdrew $40,000 in your first year, the next year you'd withdraw about $40,800. Just a small increase to match inflation. The key idea is consistency. Not trying to time the market or guess what the economy will do, but instead following a steady plan that gives you predictable income. Now, where did this 4% number come from? It's based on real research. In the 1990s, a financial planner named William Bengen studied how different withdrawal rates performed over decades of stock and bond returns. He wanted to find the safe percentage that would allow retirees to make it through a 30-year retirement. Even through tough markets like the Great Depression or the 1970s inflation years, Bengen discovered that 4% per year worked in nearly every historical case. Later, a group of professors confirmed his findings in what's now known as the Trinity Study, a famous research paper that tested thousands of retirement scenarios. They found that if you started retirement with a balanced portfolio, roughly 60% stocks and 40% bonds, and withdrew 4% per year, your money would have lasted for 30 years in most market conditions. That means if you retired at age 65, your savings would likely last until around 95, without running out, as long as you stuck to the plan. Now, it's important to remember, this isn't a guarantee. It's not a promise that the markets will always behave the same way, but it's a reasonable, evidence-based starting point that helps you estimate what's sustainable. Think of the 4% rule as a guideline, not a rule carved in stone. If you prefer a more cautious approach, you can use 3 or 3.5% instead. And if you have other income sources like Social Security or a pension, you might not need to withdraw the full 4% at all. So, in simple terms, the 4% rule helps you create a steady, inflation-adjusted income from your savings without the fear of running out too early. It gives you clarity, peace of mind, and a framework to plan the retirement you've worked your whole life to enjoy. Now that you know what the 4% rule is, let's take a look at how it actually works, with real simple numbers. I'll go slowly here so you can follow along and maybe even grab a notepad if you'd like. Let's start with an example of $500,000 in retirement savings. Take $500,000, multiply by 4, and divide by 100. That equals $20,000. So according to the 4% rule, you could withdraw $20,000 in your first year of retirement. That's about $1,667 per month. It's not a fortune, but if you have Social Security or a small pension on top of that, it could add up to a comfortable lifestyle, especially if your home is paid off and you keep your expenses simple. Now, let's look at $1 million. This is a nice round number, and it's what many people think of as a goal for retirement. So, 1 million times 4 equals 4 million. Divide that by 100, and you get $40,000. That means you can withdraw $40,000 in your first year, or about $3,333 per month. And just like before, you'd increase that amount slightly each year to keep up with inflation. So maybe $40,800 in the second year, $41,600 in the third, and so on. Now let's go one step higher. $2 million in savings. 2 million times 4 equals 8 million. Divide that by 100 and you get $80,000 per year. That's about $6,667 per month. For many retirees, that level of income, especially combined with Social Security, could support a very comfortable lifestyle. You could travel, enjoy hobbies, and still have peace of mind that you're not overspending. So you can see the pattern. The math is easy, but the idea behind it is powerful. Every $1 million saved gives you roughly $40,000 of annual income based on the 4% rule. Or, to think of it another way, every $250,000 gives you about $10,000 per year of income. It's a simple mental shortcut that helps you estimate how much you might need. If you know how much income you'd like to have in retirement, you can work backward from there. For example, if you want to live on $60,000 a year and Social Security will provide $20,000, you'll need the remaining $40,000 to come from your savings, which means you'll need roughly $1 million saved. Pretty straightforward, right? That's what makes the 4% rule so appealing. You don't need to be a math expert or a financial analyst to understand it. It gives you a clear, easy way to picture your financial future and helps you feel more confident about what your savings can actually do for you in retirement. Now, before you rely on that 4% number, it's really important to understand what's behind it, the assumptions that make the rule work. The 4% rule isn't a promise. It's based on research, history, and averages. So to use it wisely, you have to know what it assumes about time, investments, inflation, and the market. Let's go through them one by one, slowly and clearly. First, it assumes a 30-year retirement period. In other words, it's built for someone who retires at around 65 and lives until about 95. That means it's meant to cover roughly 3 decades of spending through good markets and bad ones. If you expect your retirement to last about that long, the 4% rule fits pretty well. But if you plan to retire earlier, let's say at 55, you'll likely want to lower your withdrawal rate to maybe 3 or 3.5%, just to make sure your money lasts longer. Second, the rule assumes you have a balanced investment portfolio. That usually means a mix of stocks and bonds, not all in cash, and not all in risky growth stocks either. In most of the studies behind this rule, researchers used something close to 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds. That balance helped smooth out the ups and downs of the market, giving your money the chance to grow while still protecting it from large losses. If your portfolio is very different, for example, all bonds or all cash, then the 4% rule may not work as well for you. Third, the rule assumes you'll adjust your withdrawals for inflation each year. That means if inflation is 2%, you increase your withdrawal by 2% the next year, so your spending power stays the same even as prices go up. Without this adjustment, you'd slowly lose purchasing power over time, and your retirement lifestyle might shrink. And fourth, the rule assumes that future markets behave somewhat like the past. The research behind it looked at more than 75 years of stock and bond data. But of course, nobody can guarantee that the future will look exactly like history. Markets change, interest rates change. So, while history gives us guidance, it doesn't give us certainty. That's why it's so important to treat the 4% rule as a guideline, not a guarantee. It gives you a strong starting point, a framework, but you can and should adjust it to fit your own life. For example, if you have other steady income sources, like Social Security, pension, or rental income, you may not need to withdraw the full 4% every year. Or, if you prefer to play it safe, you could start at 3.5% and see how it feels. The key idea here is flexibility. Retirement isn't about following one perfect formula. It's about creating a plan that adapts as your life changes. So think of the 4% rule not as a rigid rule book, but as a helpful tool, one that gives you direction, confidence, and a clear place to start. All right, now let's make this more practical. We've talked about what the 4% rule is and how it works. But how can you actually use it in real life, in your own retirement plan? Here's a simple, step-by-step way to think about it. Step 1. Figure out how much you expect to spend each year in retirement. Start with your basics: housing, food, utilities, healthcare, insurance. Then add in the fun stuff: travel, hobbies, time with family, maybe golf or a boat if that's your thing. This total gives you a clear picture of what your lifestyle might cost every year. Step 2. Subtract your guaranteed income. Things like Social Security, a pension, or maybe rental income. That's money that comes in no matter what the markets do. When you take that away from your total expenses, what's left is the amount you'll need to draw from your own savings or investments. Let's go through an example, step by step. Imagine you plan to spend $60,000 per year once you retire. Your Social Security benefits will provide about $20,000 per year. That means the remaining $40,000 will need to come from your savings or investments. Now, this is where the 4% rule really helps you see the big picture. If you flip the math around, instead of asking, how much can I take out? You ask, how much do I need to save to safely take that out? To do that, multiply the annual amount you need, in this case, $40,000, by 25. Because 4% per year is the same as 1 divided by 25. So, $40,000 times 25 equals $1 million. That means if you have $1 million saved and you withdraw $40,000 a year, you're following the 4% rule, a sustainable rate that should last around 30 years under typical market conditions. This simple calculation can give you a reality check. If your savings and spending line up, great, you're on track. If not, it gives you a target to aim for. You might decide to save a little more, spend a little less, or work a year or two longer to build that safety margin. The nice part is, you don't need to be a financial expert to do this math. You just need to know your numbers and be honest about your lifestyle. And remember, the 4% rule is a flexible tool, not a hard rule. If you want to be more conservative, use 3.5% instead of 4. If you have more guaranteed income, you can withdraw less. The goal is to create a plan that feels sustainable, realistic, and stress-free, so you can focus less on money and more on enjoying your retirement. Before you make any final decisions about retirement, take a minute to slow down and get organized. Money can feel complicated, but it doesn't have to be. When you break things down step by step, everything starts to feel a lot clearer and a lot more manageable. So here's a simple 5-step checklist to help you see where you stand and what you might want to do next. You don't need fancy software, spreadsheets, or a financial degree. Just a pen, some paper, and a few honest numbers. Step 1. Write down your expected yearly expenses in retirement. Start with the essentials, your mortgage or rent, food, insurance, utilities, healthcare, and transportation. Then include the good stuff too. Travel, gifts for the grandkids, hobbies, or that dream RV trip you've been thinking about. Be realistic, but not overly strict. Retirement is about living, not just surviving. Once you have your total, you'll have a clearer picture of what your life might actually cost each year. Step 2. Subtract your guaranteed income. Now look at the money that will come in no matter what. Social Security, a pension, maybe rental income or an annuity. This is your foundation. It's steady, predictable, and gives you a sense of security. When you subtract that from your total expenses, what's left is the amount you'll need to pull from your savings or investments each year. That's your income gap, and it's what the 4% rule helps you build. Step 3. Apply the 4% rule to the remaining amount. Take that income gap and multiply it by 25. That's the reverse of 4%, because 1 divided by 0.04 equals 25. For example, if you need $40,000 a year from savings, multiply by 25. That gives you $1 million, meaning you'd need roughly that much saved to safely withdraw $40,000 per year under the 4% rule. This quick math gives you a sense of whether your nest egg matches your lifestyle goals. Step 4. Add a safety buffer. If you want extra peace of mind, or if you're retiring earlier, say in your late 50s, consider using 3 or 3.5% instead of 4. That lower number gives you more protection against long retirements or rough market years. It's like giving yourself a little extra cushion, financial breathing room so you don't have to stress when the economy swings. Step 5. Talk to a fiduciary financial planner. Bring your notes, your checklist, and your questions. A fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest, not theirs. They can help you fine-tune your plan, confirm your numbers, and make sure your investments match your comfort level. It's not about handing over control. It's about getting guidance and clarity. That's it. Just 5 simple steps. Clear, direct, and easy to follow. The goal isn't perfection. It's confidence. When you understand your numbers and have a plan that feels right, you can relax and enjoy retirement with peace of mind. So, to wrap up, the 4% rule is a simple way to estimate your retirement income. $20,000 from $500,000 watching.